working this morning. Anyway, I appreciate you sending me an agenda, Rachel, but I can hardly see it, so you just go ahead. Flash it up and let's see what happens.
All right, give me 1 second.
Oh, look at that.
That's the
Thank you
October.
very
That's
much.
cute.
How did that happen? Give
What
me try
happened?
it again. I had to pull that up to get something else. Try this one. That should be correct.
That's excellent. Excellent. Okay, are there any other additions to the agenda? Okay, nobody raised their hands or said anything. So we'll go ahead. The floor is open on the approval of the minutes of December the 15th.
You got to do your thing to go into electronic meeting, don't you?
Yes, I'm pulling that up. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
You might know there'd be some politician in here to make sure we did it right.
Rick, you are such an eager beaver to get going.
Thank you very much, Mark. Happy New Year to you all. Okay, the Headwaters District Board certifies that the nature of the declared COVID-19 emergency makes it impractical or unsafe for the board to assemble in a single location, and further that the agenda items to be taken up at this meeting are necessary to continue operation and discharge lawful purposes, duties, and responsibilities of the board.
I so move.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We got a second. Those in favor, I'll do roll call. Bobby?
Yes.
Otis? Doug?
Approve.
And Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We can now go electronic. Now back to the agenda, unless I've missed something else. We'll go to the minutes of the December 15th meeting. Floor is open. We can
I'll
take as long
move
as
to
y'all want
accept
to,
the
guys.
minutes as distributed.
All right, I hear a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, to accept the minutes as in the report handed out to the district directors. All those in favor signify by answering yes. Bobby?
Sorry, yes.
Okay, Otis,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
and Wendy.
Yes.
Motion passes. Wendy, you want to go through your treasurer's report?
Yep. Treasurer's report looks good. Our expenses as far as the compensation for employees, we've continued to use Kathy because that's really critical and it's been extremely helpful. So it's a little bit more than initially had been budgeted, but as far as compensation funds, we're good. So everything else looks fine. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve for audit the treasurer's report that ends December 31st, 2020.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion in second. All those in favor? Wendy,
Aye.
Doug,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
and Bobby.
Yes.
Motion complete. The next is a, whatever is next on, which is telling us about the budget versus actual, Wendy.
Budget versus actual, we're on target there too. I'll just make a note that under office and operations for supplies, we've spent a little bit more than what was budgeted, but actually I think that's just a crossover from how some of the things are getting lumped because disinfecting supplies, we've spent less and things. So I think things have just been listed in supplies that could have gone in one of the other categories. But overall, we're fine as far as the expenses. So that's really all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to agency reports. And that would be Mr. Holberg.
Yes, there it is in all of its glory.
Glory.
Glory, hallelujah. Look at that. Oh, first, I do want to thank your staff, Rhonda in particular, in getting to me the quarterly reports in electronic form. Everything's spot on. Received ahead of time, reviewed, and I just am waiting on the hard copy of the signed attachment E. So good shape there. You'll see some notes, second paragraph about the governor's budget. Bottom line there is that it looks as though he is proposing a cost share program that should be at least as vigorous as the one that we are that we have for the current fiscal year. And that's really good news. The rest you guys read at your leisure. Ask me questions if you have any. At the very bottom of that report, there is a February 3rd cover crop training. That date has been moved to March 3rd. I believe that's going to be a USDA hosted cover crop training. Just be aware that March 3 is the date for that at this point. And that is all I thought to bring to your attention today. If any of you missed the partners meeting on the January 6th, I did distribute to staff, or they may have through other channels, all of the information that was shared there, and the budget information in the governor's proposal is in a little bit more detail. And if you want to chew on it in more detail, just let me know or let Rachel know, and she can get to you the DCR presentation that Clyde Crispin made that had the governor's proposal in it. We'll see what the General Assembly does with that. And that's it for me, Rick.
Mark, I do have a question about the small herd initiative.
Yeah.
Do we know when that's expected to roll out? It says July. Is that as close as we can get?
Yeah, it would start for the new year, the new fiscal year, I should say. And I believe it's going to be targeted to some districts largely in the Piedmont, Rick. I don't think it'll affect Headwaters. And the thinking there is, Headwaters, Shenandoah Valley, Lord Fairfax have pretty darn good cost share allocations relative to most of the other districts. So I'm looking for that to be targeted.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Mark? Okay. Thank you for your report. Happy New Year, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
And
Likewise.
Let's move down to the next agency, which it has Bobby Drumheller's name beside it. What you got for us, Bobby?
Good morning. Thank you. Don't have much to report either. Just want to say that we're in the middle of making CSP payments. We have to make all those by February 5th for calendar year 2020 to finish that up. Also, we're in the midst of processing applications for EQIP. So we have to have all those processed by the middle of March, and then they'll start making funding on that. And CSP, we still don't have a deadline for when applications are due by. I'm assuming that's probably going to be about the middle of March as well. And yeah, I think that's all I have to report. Thank you.
All right. Any questions, comments for Bobby? Okay, thank you. We'll move on. Doug, what do you got for us?
Still a little lean on programming. I guess the things of interest would be the Virginia Forage and Grassland Council is having their annual winter conference this week at 6 in the evening via Zoom. If anybody's interested, they can check with me or Alston. The other thing of note would be the agents of the lower Shenandoah Valley are having fireside chats on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. And they run through February 17th. Tomorrow evening, it'll be Virginia Premium Assured Heifer Program. And then the week after, be talking land rental rates, some winter hay feeding, and calibrating grain drill. So topics of that nature, just contact an extension agent for more information. That's pretty much what we have planned in the short term.
Thank you, Doug. I was going to ask you which field are you standing in front of, but apparently the grass is not moving, so it must be a photo behind you.
Yeah, that's the back 40.
Hey, that is the back 40. Looks good. Looks good. Thank you, Doug. Any other questions, comments for Doug? Okay, we'll move on. Who's next as far as the agenda?
It would be Department of Forestry, Patty Nowlander. Next up would be U.S. Forest Service Indians. Next up would be Planning Commissions, Leslie Tate. I don't think she's with us either. Next, Virginia Department of Environmental Quality. Next up would be Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources. Virginia Department of Health. Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Austin Horn.
Thank you. First off, I just want to say thank you very much to the board and all the soil and water staff for all the help that everyone provided for our 319 South River Christians Creek grant. We have finished that grant up. We would like to have had more projects, but we were very happy with the quality of the projects that we had. We were able to do 2 stream exclusion projects, and then we also planted over 1,000 trees with volunteers in December. So we'd like to have done more, but very happy with the outcome that we had with the projects that we had. And thank you very much for the board and the staff support in that project. We couldn't have done it without y'all. And then also I'd like to let everybody know that the Chesapeake Bay Foundation has received a grant from the VEE Foundation in Richmond. And it will be targeting the Upper James watershed. So not a whole lot of Augusta County, but a small portion of it, where we will be establishing buffers with 100% call share and some funds available for maintenance of those buffers. We will be getting out more information shortly, but look forward to potentially getting some buffers planted in the Upper James watershed in Augusta County. Thank you.
Okay, Austin, thank you very much. Continue the good work. How about Friends of Middle River? Dave, are you close by?
President accounted for.
Hey, great. Let's have it, buddy.
So we're still off season, doing our planning for the upcoming season. Our new website is on the cusp of being ready to launch. I wanted to report on Earth Day. First of all, Rachel, did you get the minutes from Caroline for Earth Day 21?
I have not received any correspondence related to this year yet.
Okay, I have the minutes electronically. Would you like me to forward them to you?
I
After the-
certainly would appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
I will do that. Just a quick overview for everyone else. The theme for Earth Day 2021 internationally is restore, which is a very broad brush and obviously can mean many things to many people. So I'm not going to go through all the minutia, but one of the things that was mentioned that in planning activities around Earth Day Stanton were ours to gear their activity to one of three target audiences. One would be elementary school age children, two would be middle and high school students, and three would be college and adults. The activity or event does not have to occur on Earth Day, which is April 22nd. For instance, the tree planting organized by State and Legacy Tree Project will resume in March. There's a poetry contest with the winning readings will be in Earthtober, excuse me. Having trouble talking today. Films offered online can be viewed for a period of months, and so kind of get the idea. It's going to be pretty much a year-long thing. And the next Earth Shenandoah Green meeting to speak to plan for Earth Day is actually today, this afternoon at 4 p.m. So that's pretty much a synopsis of what's going on with Earth Day. And again, Rachel, I will forward this to you for because I imagine you're probably going to want to get involved with the educational part of this effort. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Dave. Are you ready to roll? We look forward to your events. All right, district reports. Mr. Otis, tell us about dams.
Okay, the Stony Creek project, the abutment clearing there has been completed. Inch branch mid-level gate should be installed next month, and Michael says dam maintenance will pick back up this month. We did have a virtual meeting with DCR and the landowners at Waynesboro Nurseries on the rehab project. The primary discussion for that meeting was the solar farm overlay and the work that's going to be done on the rehab. Good discussion there, and DCR went back to doing what they're supposed to be doing. And finally, Michael is working on developing a schedule for dam inspections middle to late March. It's going to be very limited to the number of people, but he and I are going to talk about it later on today. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Michael, you got anything to add?
No, sir, that was it.
Hey, Otis,
Yes.
this is Mark. What was the solar farm overlay issue?
It's where the work is going to be completed and where they have solar panels scheduled to go.
Okay, and is that all cool with DCR and the district?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're yeah, no, the DCR took the comments and went back to see what they can rejuggle.
all right, thanks.
Mhm.
Just a little more information, Otis, on that. What is the scope now of the solar display they're going to have?
The map didn't show the whole area, just the area of the rehab. So I don't know what the total size of that project is now.
Okay. Very good. All right. Any other questions or comments for Otis? All right. Let's move on to finance. Wendy.
Okay, so of course, the General Assembly is in session right now, started last week. We sent a letter. Rhonda was a great deal of help, and as was Otis and Rachel with some input. Sent letters to our local representatives. So we got Campbell, Avoli, Runyon, and then of course Emmett Hanger. We included a letter and included our annual report and some other additional information. Doing it this way as an email as opposed to the snail mail, because actually these days, who knows when it would get there with the regular USPS. And this way it could be picked up either at their district location or, you know, at the actual Richmond location. So we did get contact information for some of the legislative aides to be able to communicate with them if we needed to. So that's been sent. They also had a legislative training on the 7th last week. That being a Thursday, I was not able to actually log in as they did. It was like 10 to 11:30, I think. But I did this weekend go into the link, which is, any of y'all can go look at it, which actually was pretty informative. There were parts that were kind of like, but because it was a little over an hour and a half as far as the recording, but you could go in and look and see what they presented. And
Wendy, well, is that on the website or?
yes,
where?
so if you go to the Virginia Soil and Water Conservation Districts, if you go to the very right hand side as far as the tab policy section.
Yeah, okay. I meant to log in, but I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, well, I thought about it, but alas, so they have information there, some good information, and then they also actually have a link for that partner agency panel discussion on the 6th. If anybody, like Mark was saying, if anybody wants to go back in and review what was recorded from that. So it's very helpful. There are great links to that they cover in this, as far as to be able to go in and look at the General Assembly and see who's got what, who's presenting what bills, et cetera. Hanger is doing some phenomenal stuff for us. There's 3 of the items that we have interest in, as far as budget amendments and stuff like that, for increasing VCAP, for increased cost share levels to meet ag needs, the assessment levels, and
Increasing the ag BMP tax credit for select BMPs.
Yes.
That was something interesting I just found out about.
Yeah, and Ken Plum, Delegate Ken Plum, from, I think maybe he's in the Lord Fairfax area or whatever, but he was actually someone who gave one of the presentations. So that was all helpful. And like I said, there's some great links. You can actually go in, you can see what subcommittee some of these things are in, or committees, and actually tune into the actual discussion if you want to, or if you want to make comments or something like that, you can actually submit those. So it's fairly easy. And that way we can track it. I think Don Wells is going to continue to lay out some tracking in general for the Virginia SWCDs. So that was good. So that's all I have really on the finance and legislative.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
One other thing I noticed that Hanger's pushing, not in isolation, of course, is an increase to the ag equipment tax credit. That should be of interest to the district, certainly of interest to producers.
Yeah.
Pay attention
Okay.
to that. Yeah.
Oh, and just here's a little tidbit for trivia. The Virginia General Assembly is the oldest legislative body in the Western Hemisphere. It was started 1619. Ta-da. That's it.
I think there's still some original numbers on it. Okay, we'll just let it go. Hey, we'll just let it go. All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to personnel, Wendy.
Okay, personnel, not much to comment on right now. We will start doing some 6-month evaluations. Rhonda's will be first, of course, and Matthew and Christian will be a couple months down the road. But so I'll schedule that with her before the end of the month, and that's it. That way, we just kind of have record that we've discussed things and stuff, rather than coming to the end of the year and going, oh, surprising everybody. So that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Wendy? All right, let's move on. Education. Is Jim on board?
He is not. He had a doctor's appointment this morning.
All right.
Now,
Can you educate us about education, Rachel?
I will try my hardest.
All right, let's do it.
So first off, for Envirothon, the association held a virtual kickoff event at the beginning of the month on the 7th in the evening. Very well attended. I think when I looked, there was over 80 participants on the Zoom call, both students, district staff, and coaches. And with that, we got to hear from a few representatives of Dominion Energy. The association is still partnering with Dominion Energy to sponsor the Envirothon program this year, even though it's virtual. And the oral presentation problem was officially released at that event. So for those familiar that have helped with Envirothon in the past, usually the oral presentation, it's a 20-minute presentation and then there's time for Q&A with the judges. This time, since it's virtual, they will be almost kind of recording themselves in the meeting with their presentation. And then there will not be time for Q&A judges this year. The topic is where their drinking water comes from their school. So they have to create a campaign to learn where their water comes from their school. And then with that, locally, our district Envirothon program will kind of kick off with our area 1 and 2 combined training next Saturday, the 30th. For the underground classroom, we still haven't had any events, also just because of weather. But the trailer cover has been shipped back for repair. And lastly, the scholarship application, we just received that from the association. So I will make edits to reflect our district deadlines and our district specific scholarship. Because of COVID, normally that was due in March, and now that will be pushed back to April this year. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right, very good. Comments or questions to Rachel? Okay. Is there a hint from the school system of when you may be able to get the trailer out, Rachel?
I have not really received any word from anybody. I had a 3rd grade teacher reach out, sent correspondence back and never heard anything. I know that Augusta County was kind of returning to all virtual for a little bit. I just kind of anticipate we really won't start to see things until next school year.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments to Rachel about education? All right. Mr. Drumheller, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While Rachel brings up the list of approvals, I do want to mention that the Clean Water Farms awards sign came in the mail, and we took for Mr. Doug Pfeiffer, and he was able to pick that up, and we got a picture of that. So just want to say we're proud of Doug for all the work he's done. All right. Starting with the list of approvals here, most of these are cover crops between the harvestable and the non-harvestable. One nutrient management, couple of grass plantings, one grazing thing. I make the motion that we approve this list of approvals, BMPs.
And Rick,
Okay, is
don't
there a
want to interrupt, but DeBose is on the call. I just seen as well. So.
Oh, welcome to Bose.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, does that mean you're going to second Bobby's motion?
Yes, sir. I'll second that motion.
All right, that's great. Okay, all in favor? We need to do a roll call. DeBose,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
and Wendy.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Next up is a contract modification for a permanent grass planting. Participant wants to switch from 15 years to 10-year lifespan. And is this for a spring planting, I'm assuming?
No, this person had already planted and submitted their invoices to me in December and wanted to know if they could switch. So payment has not been made. We are holding payment for your all's decision.
Gotcha. But the grass is established, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll make the motion that we modify this contract to the 10-year lifespan for the $1,500 less.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, ready to vote. Wendy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Bobby,
Aye.
and DeBose.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Next up is a transfer of two transfer of responsibilities, both for stream exclusion projects due to farm sales. I'll make the motion that we authorize this transfer of responsibility on these two contracts.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, ready to vote. Wendy,
Aye.
Doug,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
and DeBose.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
One conservation plan was written for Stephen Link, and I make the motion we approve that conservation plan.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, ready to vote. Wendy,
Aye.
Doug,
Yes.
Otis,
Aye.
Bobby,
Yes.
and DeBose.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
6 nutrient management plans came in this month. I make the motion we approve those.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, ready to vote. DeBose,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
and Wendy.
Aye.
Okay, that passed.
And do we have some tax credits? No, we do not. Okay, that's it for approvals. 2020 tax cycle updates. Aaron, you were telling me a couple things about that. You want to talk about that? Are you here?
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of real serious changes right now. It's just a list of things like the cap going up to 150,000 is really the main one.
Aaron, this is Mark.
Yeah.
I think one that'll be of much interest to Headwaters will be that DCR is recommending changes to cover crop planting dates.
I didn't know if that was finalized yet or not.
Well, nothing's final until the state board says, but DCR will be recommending to the state board to change both the early plant dates and the standard planting dates forward 2 weeks for our area.
Yeah, and that's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah. So Rick, I was hoping to hear you exclaim with glee upon hearing that.
Well, I'm gleeful to hear it.
It's still just a possibility though, right, Mark? It's not.
Oh, it's not a done deal, Bobby, until the state board takes a look at it.
Right. Okay.
But Mark, if I'm right, the harvest deadline is not extending, correct?
Oh yeah, that's correct. The harvest is the performance through what, March 15 or whatever it is, that stays the same. Of course, the establishment date would move forward rather than December 1, it would be December 15, for example. So early plant date would be October 20, standard plant date for our area, November 10.
And just to point out, both the increase in cap and the extended of the planting dates has been something that this board has advocated for many years. So
exactly.
Yep.
Somebody ought to tell Charles Horn.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait till they approve before we tell him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are correct. Charles Schooley too.
Yeah. Okay, so is that up for the next state board meeting? Will they address this?
They will be presented all the recommendations from DCR via the TAC at their March meeting. And I don't think, Rick, a vote would be had until perhaps April.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hold our guns on that one.
Yeah, hold your breath, but it is progress.
But that sounds good. Yeah, it is. That sounds great. And we will commend them if that happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I was just going to ask Mark, when do we find out how much cost share we're getting for next year?
Well, you won't know until the governor signs the budget.
Which will be a long ways off.
Well, probably in April, end of March. I'm not sure how. It depends a lot on how long the session goes.
You would think I would remember when that happens, but I just don't.
Well, General Assembly has already started their session last week. Whether it goes 30 days or they say we need more time, who knows? So that puts them into mid-February, late February. Then there's a veto session. So that
I'd say April, Mark.
I'm thinking perhaps April, but just time will tell.
All right. Well, thanks.
And you're aware from the information in the written report that the cost share budget probably, if General Assembly approves and the governor signs, it's looking pretty good. Should be at least what we have this year.
Yes.
So
reason for optimism.
Amen. Well,
be cautious. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Bobby, you're up next with whatever's next.
Thank you. So the BMP producer survey released January 11th. Rachel, did you have any more information about that you wanted to say?
I can elaborate a little bit. There was a training held, I believe it was last week or the week before. Dates are starting to run together. But the survey was officially released on January 11th. And this is coming from steps related to the watershed implementation plan, the WIP 3 goals to capture voluntary BMPs that maybe are not being captured through cost share or that have been reported to the district or NRCS. So it's about a 20-minute survey for producers to fill out, detailing specific BMPs. We're not we're not listing everything under the sun, looking at grazing practices, manure management, for example, to be able to capture some of these BMPs that maybe we are not capturing at the moment. The survey will be open through March 12th. So if you trying to push this survey, if a producer is having difficulty filling it out or does not know if they did in fact receive cost share for a BMP, Virginia Cooperative Extension and district staff are available to help a producer fill out their survey. And then after the survey is completed, their timeline is they're going to be verifying the BMPs that were submitted in the survey over the summer, expected July and August. And then the report of the results of the survey will be sent to EPA. They are due to them by December 1st, 2021. If you want the survey, it is on the association's website, excuse me. They were a member of the task force that created the survey, and they are going to house the electronic version of that. They also have frequently asked questions, everything related to that. So that's kind of where that stands.
Okay, any questions on that from the board? All right, and I believe you want to bring something up for the non-compliance template.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Is it being non-compliant?
It should be there now. Let me know if you're not seeing it.
I see it.
I see some of them. There you go. I just wanted the directors to know we did have a case of someone being not compliant with their project, and it was addressed. And this is the template that Rachel and discussion with others came up with. And I just wanted you to know that I think it was well received. A correction was made. But the terms of this spell out that we expect it to remain in compliance, or there will be money owed back to the district. So if you want to scroll real slow through that, Rachel.
The only thing we were missing is contract dates, contract numbers.
Right.
Excuse me. We will add those for future letters.
Which is a good idea.
And obviously it'll be tailored to the particular issue because this one is dealing with grazing in the buffer. So if there was a fence down,
correct.
it might be another issue. You know, it would be addressed using different words.
There you go. That's our feeling. We just wanted to make sure, one, the district director saw it and knew that it was addressed and was well received. But there are stipulations if someone does not stay in compliance. And this spells out the one specific to this project. So that is the template we're going to continue to use unless we've got a better one come forward.
I think
Just
that looks
information.
Yeah, it looks good.
The fact that it was well received and compliance was rendered quickly, hey, I think that's pretty good.
Success.
Okay, that's all I need on that one. Thank you, Rachel.
All right, next up on the agenda is the 2021 verifications. Rachel, do you have more info on that? What?
Yeah, these were the end of lifespan verifications that were kind of headed by Jason Wolfong with DCR. Some of our staff were able to attend as well. After that, it was determined that there were two 2021 expiring projects that need some maintenance have some maintenance concerns that we need to address. One being a WP4 that the front gutter was busted. And then there was a SL6 that the fence is still all up. However, the fence is loose that looks like the cattle are pushing their way into the buffer. Christian went out and got some better pictures. Definitely tell there's grazing going on in there, but the grass is definitely not denuded as what the rest of the pasture looked like. All the barbed wire fence is up. It just needs to be tightened. That are set, just so the board is aware of those two. We will be giving them a phone call and sending a letter similar to what you just saw to these two participants. The recommended issue to come back into compliance, the staff had a staff meeting on Friday, and we were suggesting about 30 days, leaving that up to you all to decide if that needs to be extended or shortened. Just because, both are kind of very small issues. We felt the participant might not even be aware of them either as well. So
Well, not only these two, but has everybody been informed of the CCI program that could help with maintenance costs and I'm assuming most of them would be eligible come 2022?
Yes, and there were some from 2020 as well that staff made them aware of if they were present during their visit of CCI, and actually one we just approved this month that went out of lifespan at December 2020. So
you may mention that in any letters you send to them as well, that they may become eligible in 2022 for the CCI program, and payments could go towards maintenance of these practices.
Okay, are there any comments as far as the 30-day period?
Well, I think the 30 days is definitely reasonable for small matters. It seems like that should be plenty of time, even with weather related or anything else.
Construction issues could take a little longer, such as the gutter. Sometimes you might not be able to get a gutter guy in 30 days. Things like that.
And they could always, but then they should, as a responsible whatever, they should come back to us and say, okay, I've lined this up and blah blah blah, but it's going to be February or something,
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Is 30-day response time or 30-day compliance time?
we had a 30-day compliance time, but we can, for the WP4 one, if you feel it needs to be longer, we can do 45 days, just kind of thinking whatever. Those were just the suggestions from staff, but we wanted to run it by you all first.
Maybe say 30 days or written request as to why it would take longer.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had 3-foot snows that take longer than a month. So I like that approach. That sounds good. Okay, we're not going to take a vote on this. If there's no other discussion, we'll go with that and move on.
That concludes Ag and Cost
Okay.
Share report.
So,
And no report for Resource Management Plan.
okay. Very good. All right. Thank you very much, Bobby.
You're welcome.
Mr. DeBose, do you have any urban conservation stuff?
There are a couple, there's a retention pond that's going to be converted to a wetlands. The city is going to start drainage improvements in March. The residential housing market has continued to progress, so they've been checking those. And the MS4 outfall screens are going to start in April.
Okay. Any questions or comments to DeBose about that?
Is the
All right.
retention pond conversion going to, is that like Waynesboro area?
Yes, that's in the city limits. I'll have a direct location for you next month.
Okay.
Okay, I think I volunteered to talk to Charlie about the forestry riparian and easements, and I neglected to get a hold to him. I did try, but I did not reach him. So if y'all give me a little grace, I'll pick that up and have a report for the next meeting.
Give you 30 days.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Very good. All right. I talked with Charles Horn about a couple of things, but nothing came up as far as land use. And I don't think he's on the call, is he?
No, he is not.
Okay.
Just if you all weren't aware, the Planning Commission did take a vote against the proposed solar project in Stewart's Draft this past week as well.
That was a very controversial vote. Tracy Powell's had a long editorial in Saturday's paper in the News Virginian. You might want to read if you're in favor.
Okay, and what was the result of the vote?
They did not pass. They said it was not cohesive with the comprehensive plan, but this would have been in the White Hill, Guthrie Road, Churchman's Mill Road area of Stewart's Draft.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how they get along with that. Otis, do you have information on pure water?
I have nothing to report.
Going back to the solar farm, the planning commission is only advisory, so the board of supervisors can approve it.
That's correct. Okay. So you're welcome to dive into it individually and we'll see. I need to do more homework. It's changed a lot from when I called up with it. All right. Other business. Our 2021 public meeting notices are posted.
Yes, I did post
and-
them in the office and they're on the website, and I also mailed you guys a copy in your packet.
Thank you, Rhonda.
You're welcome.
When we get the packet.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
It's coming, that's right. It'll be in the mail. It'll be in the mail this afternoon, probably.
I think
That's not
I
your
think I
fault.
see a horse out front. A horse is delivering mine.
Oh, well. Yeah. All right. Annual plan of work review. Where are we with that?
Staff have updated what has been done since we're about halfway through this fiscal year. We just need to document a review in our minutes that the board has reviewed. So Rhonda, you should have received an email from Rhonda with an electronic copy with the updates that have been finished. I guess really the only things that did not really get done is if there were things that were impacted due to COVID, such as our district awards banquet we normally host, fairs, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion to approve that, Rachel?
It is not approved. We just need to have documented in the board minutes that you all have reviewed
Oh, okay.
and made any changes, edits, suggestions.
I did get it and I reviewed the thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was in when we did our strategic planning and that kind of stuff. So if y'all are comfortable, we will make the statement. We have reviewed this item.
That's
Yes.
fine with me.
Okay. Let's get to January 2021, see what it says. Okay.
Let's get to January 22 so we can get back together.
Okay. We'll do what we can, DeBose. Okay, let's move on, Rachel. All right. The district committees, I have gone over the names. Nobody's requested any changes except Doug Horn got put on because his name was missing, basically filling the spots that Matt was in. Resource management, Bobby moved up to chair. Staff has been put on some of the committees, and we added Bobby to the personnel committee. Doug, you comfortable on the education committee and the cost share? Maybe you better look at all of them you're on, Doug.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I'll do what I can with them.
I know you will. And that sounds good. Unless there's, and these are not hammered in stone, because if other people want to join, if you know other people as directors that would like to come to this, we have an associate director position, and we welcome people to our meetings and committee meetings. All right.
Rick, you do need a motion at least for the resource management plan technical review committee, as in state code. Those have to be officially appointed by the board to serve on that committee.
I thought maybe I wouldn't do it and wait to see how long it took for them to catch me. All right, Rachel. Okay, I need a motion and second for the approval of the resource management plan committee.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Let's go ahead with the voice vote. Wendy?
Whoa. Can we
Whoa,
discuss?
whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we would be glad to discuss.
I just have an easy question. So some of these people's names I see, I have never seen these people. Of course, isn't there something that states that they really ought to? Do they actually engage in this committee, or they don't engage in the monthly stuff? Is there any stipulation about that?
Yeah, well, as far as I know, it was set up so that there was a committee that would review each resource management plan we received on the local level and then make a recommendation, because this is approved by the state. And so they don't meet if we don't have any plans. And we haven't had any plans probably for the last 2 years, I'm going to say. So, but they will kick into gear when a plan is presented to us.
Okay, and we do know that they are interested in being on the committee and engaging.
Yeah. Well, nobody's told me they aren't. I haven't talked with Irby. Ian Heatwell situation may change, but it hadn't changed yet.
All right.
I
I
got
can
a
talk to
response
Irby.
back from Irby and he said yes, he was still interested. I did not get a response back from Ian or Jeff
Okay.
Klein.
Okay. Well, you won't get a response back from Jeff because he's still waiting to answer. I tease. That's Jeff, but he'll be there when necessary. And I'm glad Irby responded because he's got excellent expertise on that committee.
Okay, that's all I got.
Does that answer your question, though, lady?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good. Any other questions? And it was a good question. Okay. We ready to vote now? Okay. All those in favor? Wendy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Bobby?
Aye.
And DeBose? Motion approved. Thank you for keeping me straight there, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Okay. We good on our committee list? And I will confirm with Charlie Huffick what's going on with him. All right. What's next? Upcoming trainings. Oh boy. They're listed in front of you. This is staff mainly, I assume, but you're welcome to tune in to any of them.
And again, the cover crop has been moved forward a month into March.
Yes, and then the
Yeah,
nutrient
and
management
then,
plan is nutrient management training as well. I think has also then moved back.
Yeah, up to April.
Okay. Okay. Any other business come before us? All right. If not, thank you very much for your presence, and we will adjourn the board meeting. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.